Get familiar with the perks in Rumbleverse now and get yourself a huge advantage out in Capital City. There are currently 15 perks in the game, and I'm going to be going over what they look like and what their advantages are. As you already know, if you played the game, it's super fast paced and you might not even have the chance to pause your game and look at what perks you have during a match. Being able to look at the bottom right of your screen and recognize the icons of the perks that you have is going to offer you a huge advantage. Even knowing what perks you're getting as they pop up will really help you in your quest for victory. To quickly recap, perks in Rumbleverse pop as you do damage to other players. You can see how much damage to your next perk, as well as the icons of the perks you already have in the bottom right hand corner of your gameplay screen. If you do find the time during a match, you can find a detailed breakdown of all your perks on the pause screen. Perks do come out completely randomly, and some are better than others, but it's a great reason to keep taking fights even if they don't all lead to KOs. I'm going to break up the perks into 3 categories: stamina, healing, and attack. Here are all the perks and how they can help you claim the title of champion. First of the stamina perks is Runner. And when you have Runner, dashing will cost 40% less stamina. Dashing is currently one of the quickest ways to get around in the game, so having it cost less is just a general advantage is good to have. Not to mention, if you're in a fight that you're not quite winning, being able to get away quickly while using less stamina, especially if you're already low, is a huge advantage. The Runner perk icon is a runner with a lightning bolt on it, so it should be very easy to remember which perk that is. The next stamina related perk is Rabbit Foot. While you have Rabbit Foot, Long Jump costs 40% less stamina. Along with dashing, Long Jump is a great way to get around in the game, so having it cost less stamina is a pretty decent advantage. Also, like dashing, the Long Jump can be a good way to put distance between you and a player that you might not be winning a fight against. The Rabbit Foot icon is very clearly an animal paw with the stamina lightning bolt on it. And last of our stamina perks is Nimble. When you have Nimble, dodging costs 50% less stamina. Nimble is one of my favorite perks because I found myself using dodge a lot, even more than shield. Shield can't save you from vicious attacks, so it makes sense that dodge carries the stamina burden with it, but you can't just spam it all the time. Since dodging can get you away from any attack, I think Nimble is a great perk, cutting that stamina cost in half. The Nimble icon actually kind of looks like the dodge animation, with a little character rolling and a lightning bolt swoosh. Next up are our healing perks, one of which I've heard called overpowered, but I'll tell you why it's not quite that good. Our first healing related perk is the Burn. The Burn allows you to restore 20% of your health after using Protein Pod. The Burn's a decent perk because 20% healing is good, however, it's going to be a little situational. Since it relies on you using a Protein Pod, you're not going to be able to take advantage of this perk if you've already used 10 of them. To me, this is one of those perks that's a lot more useful early game. Late game, it can be hard to find protein pods or find the time to use them, and you're more likely to have used all 10 to max out your stats, but it can still come in clutch early game when either health is scarce or you're taking fights while building your stats. The Burn looks like a dumbbell with flames and hearts, but if you think flame for the burn and green hearts for the health restore, I think you'll remember it. Our next healing perk is the one I've heard called overpowered. It's called Meditative. When you have Meditative, you can stand still to slowly regenerate health. You might be thinking, yeah, that does sound pretty overpowered, but it's pretty easily countered. While the perk can lead to final circles that feel like a classic Fortnite heal off, the fact that it does require you to stand still and takes a second to kick in means that it can easily be countered as long as you can keep on that opponent and realize that they're on the corner of the building above you. But having this perk and being able to take advantage of those hiding spots to regen your health is a huge advantage. My personal counter to Meditative is to just don't let them stand still. Easy, right? And it's another perk where the icon looks exactly like the name. It's a person meditating with green hearts to remind you of the health regen. And lastly are our attack perks. Most of the perks in the game actually relate to attack or damage in one way or another, but our first attack perk does have a little healing properties. That perk is Sadistic. When you have Sadistic, you can deal damage to heal yourself a whopping 2%. The perk details don't make this immediately clear if it's 2% per hit, 2% of the damage dealt, but besides getting even more perks, Sadistic gives you another reason to output damage, because you're going to be healing yourself at least that little bit every single time. Sadistic's pretty easy to spot because it looks like an evil face. Our next attack perk is Aerodynamic. When you have Aerodynamic, you're going to get bigger explosions from lower altitude elbows. You might notice while playing, the higher up you are when you drop that elbow, the more energy you gain as you come to the ground, and the bigger explosion you get when you actually hit the ground. So aerodynamics is just cutting down some of the time you need for those bigger explosions from your elbows. And while it's not the most distinct icon, it does kind of look like a character doing an elbow drop. Next up we have Ballistic. When you have Ballistic, you'll do a ballistic blow after landing a drop kick. Ballistic blow after a drop kick looks like this, I guess. The drop kick is a power move, and if you remember Strike Priority, power moves trump over half the moves in the game. Not to mention, the dropkick isn't something you have to pick up. You always have it available. So adding a follow-up attack to the dropkick for even more damage, not a bad deal. If you think ballistic missile, that's what the icon looks like. Next up we have bombastic, aptly represented by a bomb icon. So when you have bombastic, the hammer fist combo ender causes an explosion. The hammer fist is the third attack in the basic combo. When you have bombastic, every time you land that third hit in the combo, even more damage. Next up we have brainbuster. Whenever you have brainbuster, your basic vicious attack levels up. To me, this is another perk that feels like it might be more useful early game, when maybe you don't have the moves you normally want, or more useful, more powerful vicious attacks. I'd be interested to see if the basic vicious attack is more powerful, while maybe costing less stamina than some of your special moves. I don't use the basic vicious attack that much late game, but considering that possible stamina advantage, it would be a good reason to look out for this perk. As far as the icon, it looks like somebody getting dropped on their head, so brainbuster. Next up we have temper. When you have temper, you temporarily deal 20% more damage after taking damage. Temper is one of the easiest to recognize perks in the game, because if you're in a fight and you take damage, steam will start coming out of your character's ears to let you know that this perk is activated. Maybe you get hit less in fights than I do, but I typically take damage in fights. So being able to put out more damage after that is a nice advantage. If you don't notice the steam coming out of your character's ears, the icon for temper looks like a bowl with steam coming out of its nose. Next up we have Weapon Master. When you have Weapon Master, weapon attacks will deal 30% more damage. As if weapons weren't already powerful enough in the game, remember strike priority, this allows you to deal even more damage while trumping all those other moves. Combine that with some of your more powerful weapons and pretty good perk. Weapon Master is pretty easy to spot as there's a green bat on the icon. Next up is Wind Fist. When you have Wind Fist, your Get Up Back Fist clears out more space. The Get Up Back Fist is a power move, remember, high priority, that allows you to swing at your opponents after you get knocked down in a 360-degree motion. Having a wider attack range is a great perk in general, but knowing that you have this perk can maybe let you take on multiple players more confidently. Because knowing you have that wider get up attack to create even more space around you, regardless of how many players might be there, is a good advantage. I can only describe the Wind Fist icon as a rocket punch. And last of our attack perks is when you have basic attack and charge basic attack will build more superstar. Being able to build that superstar quicker, whether you use it mostly for revive or for the super attack, can't really argue with it. Knowing that you have this perk could influence your attack patterns a little bit. Use that basic combo a little bit more, use that charge basic, but look out for that Ric Flair looking perk icon down in the bottom right. Our last perk kind of combines all three, stamina, healing, and attack. And that perk is Satisfaction. When you have Satisfaction, score an elim to gain energized and healing. So if you needed any other incentive to knock other players out, when you have Satisfaction, it's going to give you that stamina boost. It's going to give you that health boost. You'll notice Satisfaction in the bottom right as a thumbs up icon with the green healing heart and the stamina bolt next to it. I don't think there's any other thumbs up icons. There you have it. Those are all the perks currently in Rumbleverse. Again, those perks do come out randomly as you do damage. You can't influence which ones you get, but knowing which ones you have, I think, is an advantage. And as pausing isn't always an option in a game this fast paced, I think recognizing those icons an even bigger advantage in some of the perks. Let me know what your favorite perk is down below, which ones you found most useful in the games you've played, or if you think I missed anything important worth mentioning about all the perks here. If you haven't already, check out this video where I detail all the basics of Rumbleverse, or check out this one where I break down every single special move in the game. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to post them down below, or pop into my Twitch chat. I'm streaming Thursdays and Sundays, where I'll definitely be playing Rumbleverse or some other epic game. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you at Billboard. Woo! Woo! I need to just insert him doing it. Or pop into my Twitch chat on Thursdays and Sundays where I might be playing this or some other fun game. Or some other epic game.
Stop! We can't take anymore!